Hidden within the heart of Rome lies the world's smallest country, Vatican City, home to the Pope, ancient rituals, and some of the most curious customs on earth. From a head of state who wears red shoes symbolizing martyrdom, to a nation with no birthright and citizens granted identity only through service, the Vatican is anything but ordinary. The Pope tweets to millions, lives in a modest guest house instead of a palace, and walks halls that house secret archives spanning centuries. Even the Swiss Guard, dressed in Renaissance-era armor, still protects the papal gates as it has since 1506. Here, faith and mystery coexist, wrapped in layers of symbolism, secrecy, and devotion. Why does the Pope choose humility over grandeur? What hidden documents lie beneath the basilica's stones? And why does no one ever call the Vatican home forever? The answers may surprise you, and the next fact is even stranger. 1. Vatican City unique among all nations when it comes to citizenship? The answer lies in one surprising fact: Vatican City has no birthright. That's right, no one is born a citizen of the Vatican. Unlike most countries, where citizenship can be inherited by birth, the Vatican's population structure is entirely different. Citizenship here isn't based on family ties, but on service to the Holy See. This tiny independent state, covering just about 44 hectares, is home to around 800 people. But those residents are not permanent in the traditional sense. Citizenship is granted only to those who serve the Vatican directly, such as cardinals, papal diplomats, and members of the Pontifical Swiss Guard. Their families may sometimes reside within the city, but they do not automatically receive citizenship. And once their service ends, whether by retirement, reassignment, or resignation, their citizenship usually ends as well. This unusual system reflects the Vatican's status as a theocratic state built around religious function rather than population growth or national identity. It's not a place designed for generational lineage or demographic expansion. Instead, the focus is on mission, tradition, and spiritual service. The lack of a birthright might seem strange at first, but it fits the Vatican's unique role in the world. It is not a country like others, it's the spiritual and administrative heart of the Catholic Church, where residency is a privilege tied to sacred duty, not geography or heritage. In Vatican City, being born there isn't what matters. Being called to serve does.
2. How can one man be both a religious figure and a political leader at the same time? The answer lies in the extraordinary role of the Pope, who serves not only as the spiritual leader of the Roman Catholic Church but also as the head of state of Vatican City. This unique dual position makes the Pope one of the few leaders in the modern world to hold both religious and sovereign authority. Vatican City is an independent nation, though it is the smallest in the world, completely enclosed within the city of Rome. It was officially established in 1929 through the Lateran Treaty between the Holy See and Italy. Since then, the Pope has ruled as an absolute monarch, holding full legislative, executive, and judicial power within the tiny state. As a spiritual leader, the Pope guides over 1.3 billion Catholics worldwide, shaping doctrine, leading worship, and acting as a global moral voice. As a head of state, he oversees Vatican City's internal affairs, diplomatic relations, and even its finances. He appoints government officials, grants citizenship, and maintains the Vatican's presence on the international stage. This rare combination of power is deeply symbolic. It reflects the Vatican's role not just as a church, but as a sovereign state with a global spiritual mission. While most nations separate church and state, the Vatican unites them under one man, the Pontiff. In the Pope, the worlds of faith and governance intersect, creating a leader like no other on earth.
3. Why did the new Pope choose the name Francis, and what does it symbolize? When Pope Francis was elected in 2013, he made history the moment he chose his papal name. No pope before him had ever taken the name Francis. It was a bold, meaningful choice, one that signaled a new tone for the Catholic Church. But why Francis? The name honors Saint Francis of Assisi, a beloved figure known for his humility, poverty, and deep respect for nature. Saint Francis lived in the 13th century and gave up a wealthy life to serve the poor, heal the sick, and preach peace. He's also recognized as the patron saint of animals and ecology, symbolizing compassion for all creation. By choosing this name, the new pope sent a powerful message. He wanted a church that is closer to the people, especially the marginalized. He emphasized simplicity over luxury, service over status, and care for the planet in an age of environmental crisis. In fact, Pope Francis became the first pope to publish an encyclical focused entirely on the environment, Laudato Si. The name Francis is not just a title, it's a vision. A vision of a church that walks with the poor, listens to the voiceless, and acts as a steward of earth. It reflects the Pope's personal values and his hope for a more compassionate, just, and sustainable world. In choosing Francis, the new Pope chose not just a name, but a path. 4. Why did Pope Francis choose to live simply, even when luxury was available to him? When Pope Francis was elected, he was given access to the Grand Apostolic Palace, the traditional residence of popes for centuries. Lavishly decorated and steeped in history, it symbolizes the power and prestige of the papacy. But to the surprise of many, Pope Francis declined the palace as his home. Instead, he chose to live in the Domus Sanctae Marthae, a modest guest house within Vatican City. Why? Because simplicity is central to his values. By living in a small room, eating with others in the communal dining hall, and carrying his own bags, Pope Francis sends a quiet but powerful message. Leadership should be about service, not status. This decision aligns with the spirit of Saint Francis of Assisi, the humble saint who inspired the Pope's name. It reflects a desire to stay close to the people, avoid unnecessary privilege, and lead by example in a world often driven by materialism. His choice also creates a more approachable image of the papacy, one grounded in humility rather than grandeur. For Pope Francis, authentic faith means living simply, serving others, and rejecting excess. Even small gestures, like paying his own hotel bill after being elected, underscore his commitment to modesty. In a role traditionally surrounded by ceremony and wealth, the Pope's lifestyle is refreshingly human. By choosing simplicity, Pope Francis reminds the world that true greatness lies not in luxury, but in humility.
5. What lies hidden beneath the Vatican, and why has it fascinated the world for centuries? Beneath the surface of Vatican City sits one of the most mysterious and exclusive archives on earth, the Vatican Apostolic Archive. Once known as the Secret Archive, it conjures images of forbidden texts and locked-away truths. But what exactly is inside? The term secret originally meant private, referring to the Pope's personal collection of documents. Though it's not truly secret, access is highly restricted, and that has only deepened public curiosity. The archive spans over 50 miles of shelving, housing centuries of church history, including papal letters, state documents, and ancient manuscripts. Among its treasures are letters from Michelangelo, correspondences with kings and emperors, and even documents related to the trial of Galileo Galilei. There are whispers of other controversial records concerning political intrigue, religious reformations, and world-shaping events. Access is granted only to qualified scholars, and even they must follow strict rules. Materials cannot be removed, and many documents remain uncatalogued or undigitized, preserving an air of secrecy even in the age of information. Why keep so much hidden? The Vatican argues that the archive protects delicate records that could be misinterpreted, politicized, or damaged. It's a matter of preservation, not concealment. Still, the mystique remains. The Vatican Apostolic Archive is more than a library, it's a time capsule, safeguarding the private memory of the Catholic Church. And for historians and seekers alike, it raises a timeless question: what truths still lie unread in the shadows below? 5. What lies hidden beneath the Vatican, and why has it fascinated the world for centuries? Beneath the surface of Vatican City sits one of the most mysterious and exclusive archives on earth, the Vatican Apostolic Archive. Once known as the Secret Archive, it conjures images of forbidden texts and locked-away truths. But what exactly is inside?
6. Can ancient tradition and modern technology truly coexist in the Vatican? Surprisingly, The answer is yes, and the proof is just a click away. In a world where social media connects billions, even the Pope has a Twitter account. Under the handle @Pontifex, the Pope tweets messages of faith, hope, peace, and compassion in multiple languages, reaching millions of followers around the globe. This may seem unexpected from the heart of an institution that dates back 2 millennia. Yet, the Vatican has embraced digital communication as a way to extend its spiritual mission into the modern world. With over 50 million followers combined across languages, @Pontifex stands as one of the most influential religious voices online. But the account is not about trending memes or viral videos. Instead, the Pope uses it to share prayers, reflections, and calls to action on global issues like climate change, poverty, and peace. Each message is carefully crafted to resonate with believers and non-believers alike. The decision to join Twitter reflects Pope Francis's emphasis on openness and dialogue. It shows a willingness to meet people where they are, even in digital spaces. While the Vatican still values ancient rituals, it recognizes that reaching the faithful today requires embracing modern tools. So yes, the Pope tweets. And in doing so, he bridges the gap between ancient wisdom and present-day communication. It's a reminder that faith doesn't need to stay behind stone walls, it can travel at the speed of a tweet.
7. Why does the Pope wear red shoes, and what do they really mean? At first glance, the bright red shoes worn by the Pope may seem like a curious fashion choice. But behind the vivid color lies a powerful symbol rooted in centuries of Catholic tradition. So, why red? The red papal shoes represent the blood of the Christian martyrs, early believers who gave their lives for their faith. It's a bold, visual reminder that the role of the Pope is not just about authority or ceremony, but about sacrifice, service, and witness. Red is also a color historically linked to the Passion of Christ, further emphasizing the Church's connection to suffering and redemption. These shoes have long been part of the papal wardrobe, although not every pope has worn them consistently. Pope Benedict XVI revived the tradition with custom-made red leather shoes, while Pope Francis, known for his humility, chose to wear simple black ones. Still, the red shoes remain an iconic symbol of the papal office. They are more than clothing, they are a statement. When the Pope walks in red shoes, he walks in the memory of those who came before him, many of whom paid the ultimate price for their belief. In a world where leaders often signal power through luxury, the Pope's red shoes speak to a different kind of strength, one founded on faith, sacrifice, and remembrance. And so, with every step, the Pope honors a legacy written not in ink, but in blood and conviction.